We're live?
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Did you listen to the sound? To see if we're echoing?
I'm not
No?
I'm not going to be doing the at the beginning of every podcast for the 2018. Now we're starting just because through to popular demand with reviews, people just don't like that. That's absolutely a lie. No one's ever said that, but
No, we had about what 600 reviews in the past week, and just people just don't like it. I don't know. I like it.
personally I think it's the only way to go. I think we should purposely do that, but people just don't feel the same, evidently.
Yeah. Let me give it a little this.
I mean, I'll keep bonking my head on it.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it sounds perfect to me. We're just testing out. We've got new mics. That's why we sound so damn
Fantastic.
fantabby hooby. Oh, you listen to it now?
Sorry about my cough again. I'm still sick. Well, I got better, then I got sick, then I got better, then I got sick,
Yeah.
and now I'm sick again.
Yeah, I'm just telling the boys.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. So yeah. Happy New Year to everyone. It's 2018. Fuck me. So it's 2018. So it's the year of the dog. I think it is. It's also the year of MAViSMITH.
Mm.
So there's that. If you're listening to this on iTunes, SoundCloud, even though we lost all of our followers on SoundCloud,
you got to actually sit quite like, as in like within.
Oh.
No, I can hear you. It just doesn't sound as smooth as it could. You have to be kissing the pop filter almost, because then you just get perfect sound.
Perfect.
I'll fix it more as we go forward.
Pops. Yeah, this one might sound like shit, but we have a lot of fun. Yeah, sorry if you listen to this on like iTunes or SoundCloud or whatever you were listening to it on. We do stream live on Twitch, twitch.tv/MAViSmith. And we do upload the entire video to YouTube the same day.
What's that?
Day? We upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be up on YouTube tonight. As well as being on podcasts every Tuesday morning, I guess, by the time it goes up.
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah. So I can see the book. We're gonna. Is there like chapters?
So this is a book. We won't go into this segment now. We'll save this to the end. But this was a book that I wrote for audio listeners on iTunes and SoundCloud. You won't be able to see the fantastic images that are throughout the book. But this is a book that I wrote when I was about 8, 9, maybe. I can't remember how old I was, to be honest. And basically, it's got pictures, it's got chapters, and it's called Hero's Quest. If you can't see that, I apologise. The writing is yellow and green, so the green screen doesn't help. But it's Hero's Quest. In case you didn't know what the thing was called, on the back it's also called Hero's Quest. Different picture this time. That's me, or that's Mike, as the character was called, but it's basically me. Stranger Things has obviously ripped me off when I was 8. That's Mike, and then that is his friend, which we all know as the Demogorgon. I can't remember this. Oh, it's got GC on it, so I'm guessing it's George Carr, and that's not even a lie. But I have no idea. I haven't read this.
How old were you?
I honestly can't remember, but I must have been about. Well, these books were when I was very, very young. This is in primary school. I reckon I was about 8, maybe 7. I got 4 chapters in, and then gave up, obviously. So that that will be read at the end of the podcast. And for audio listeners, if you want to see the pictures, the fantastic drawings that go with each and every great story, tune in on YouTube at MAViSMITH and come and watch podcast number 20, and you'll be able to see those pictures.
Yes, so we'll do that at the end. So is it on chapters? Is it set in chapters?
I keep bonking my head on the mic, by the way, so I apologise if you hear a little donk every now and then. So yeah, there's chapter 1. The Dream. I will show the podcast this. The visual listeners, you will see this towards the end. Green paper doesn't help. I can just hide. So chapter 1 is the dream. Only 2 pages in chapter 1. You know, I
Okay,
was
so should
modest.
we do like we'll do like one? Should we do one chapter per podcast?
Oh, so you have to tune in for chapter 2, 3, and
I mean,
part of 4, which
it's
I've
probably not
just
going to be
gave
very
up.
good. You're probably not going to want to tune back in to listen to it. But
Not very good. Have a look at that picture at the bottom, mate.
is that it?
That's the end of chapter 4. Yeah.
Oh, is that the last bit you've got?
Yeah.
So the entire book you've got 4 chapters. So we're going to be doing a month. A month.
Yeah, but if people like it, I mean, I'll finish it off in my adult brain.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be the same.
It'll be better because my adult brain is less intelligent than my young brain was.
I mean, yeah, I guess. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. General chat. Any general chat apart from Happy New Year and all that shitty palaver.
Yeah, I have
New
a few
Year.
things.
Is it a New Year, New You?
Um,
New Year, who dis? Or
no, it isn't. Because I'm the same person I was yesterday, and I still have the same goals that I wanted yesterday. What about you?
we're still sponsored by Benevolence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna drink next New Year's. Like I just woke up this morning feeling absolute shit, and like I've been ill as well. So the coupling of them both didn't really work, and also gonna go somewhere with it. Let me think. Train of thought's gone. Let me think again. That was it. You kind of. I mean, I guess you start off the year really shit, so that the only way is up.
Mhm.
So I mean, I guess that's just get shit faced, and you can only go up from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, it ain't for me.
But no, New Year, New You, no.
New Year, new me, nah. I mean, as you said, you're the same person we was about 24 hours. No, what, 21 hours ago.
Don't get
So
me wrong. I'm excited for 2018 because I feel like it's going to be a good year for MAViSMITH and a good year for sort of my career in general. Being able to leave my job and follow my passion with what we're doing now, MAViSMITH stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited for what 2000 and obviously moving house and everything. So I'm excited for what 2018 holds. I'm really buzzing for it, but at the same time, I'm the same person. The only thing I want to do is get back in the gym because I haven't been there for a couple of weeks. I've been so sick. So
it's gonna be horrible though. Getting
oh,
back into the
the
gym.
first week will be a very big adjustment period again, just like it was when I started like a year ago. So it's going to be hard. 'Cause, yeah, I haven't had this amount of time away from the gym since my holiday, and before that, it was probably the beginning of the year because I usually at least go somewhat regularly. So
Yeah.
a
Oh well.
drill's in the chat. If anyone listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, a drill, Adriana, is in the chat on Twitch.
I'm still gonna call it a drill because it's my fucking podcast. It's my Twitch channel, so I'll call whatever I want. If I want to call you a drill 2303, I will. That still creeps me out.
That is weird.
That still creeps me out. Do you know how the origin of 2303 came about?
No idea.
So 2303 is a thing. I'm gonna have to change up pretty much all my passwords now. But, 2303 is like a 4-digit code that I've been using for like my entire life, and it originated because one of my best friends when I was a kid, he was born on 23rd of March, which is 2303, and that was his. I don't know, like can't remember. I think it was a name that he took up on like PS1, like your little like name thing.
Okay.
And I thought that's really cool, so I'm going to take that. Didn't put 2 and 2 together and figure out that it was 2303 and 23 of 23rd of whatever. So I was like, so then I started using it. And then he went, "Why are you using it?" And I'm like, "Well, 'cause I thought it looked cool." He's like, "Do you know what it stands for?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "It's my birthday." And I was like, "Oh." And then he said, "You should have 2903." And I was like, "I don't want
Doesn't have
that.
the same ring, does
Doesn't
it?
have the
No.
same ring to it." And I was like, 3303 kind of sounds kind of cool, but
There's no
now then I've got to
33rd of March.
change pretty much everything again.
Mm.
And I've got to change my bank pin now as well. um,
You think he's joking? He's
yeah,
definitely not
yeah,
joking.
I'm definitely not joking. Unfortunately not. But it's okay. But yeah, no. So yeah, do you want to get straight into it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few things written down. I think over the last
Does I was last night. I thought of a couple of things to mention, and I've just forgot them, and I should have wrote them down.
What's annoying is I thought of the three W's again on Wednesday, and I actually did put something down and then forgot immediately.
Well, if you put it down, you've got it written down there. No.
Yeah. Well, no, I put it down.
What, and then deleted it.
I think so. I can't remember. All I know is there used to be something here and it's not there anymore. But here we go. I've got these. There's two things I want to talk about this week.
Yep.
Other than my fantastic novel, romantic erotic novel that I wrote when I was 8. I want to
Wait.
talk about.
Sorry, you wrote.
It's neither of those. It's nothing like that.
Good.
Hero's Quest. I'm copywriting this, by the way, and anyone nicks this storyline, I'm suing you.
Should we make it into a film?
Yes. Yes.
Let's go for it.
Right. So the two things I want to talk about is Clones and the film Bright that came out.
Have you watched Bright yet?
Yes.
That was what I was going to talk about.
There we go.
That's what I was going to talk about. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. I won't ruin any of the storyline for you because I'd recommend watching it.
No. I want to watch it. It looks really good, and I mean, the reviews are okay, but the majority of the reviews are saying
Bad things.
purely for the fact that it's rushed.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt like Suicide Squad a little bit, but because same director. But what I love the way. So I love. First of all, I'm not gonna. This is not spoiling anything. So if you haven't seen it, this is not a spoiler. You can listen to this entire bit, and it won't ruin the film for you. Purely because obviously Matt hasn't seen it, so I'm not going to ruin it for him either. This is my non-spoiler review of the film, in my opinion. Excuse me. Basically, the universe they created
It's amazing. Right?
is so good with the fairies, the orcs, and the elves and everything. I know. Like things have done that.
That's what everyone says.
I know, like so many things have done that before. Like Lord of the Rings had all the same, maybe not fairies, but elves and orcs and all that. And I know there's so many fantasy films and comics and cartoons that have done that, so it's not exactly like a new thing. But that was like one thing that I thought was really cool. Just the universe they created and the way that they depicted the difference between humans and orcs and this universe where they don't like each other, kind of thing.
Well, it's kind of like what race, I guess.
It's exactly what it really is, basically. And
but is it in the film as in like black and white? Is that, or is it just
human orcs? Yeah, but it's basic. Imagine like 1970s America, like South America. And imagine the first ever black police officer in 1970, when all the civil rights movement in the 60s and whatever.
Is it a problem that he's black?
No, it has nothing to do. Will Smith's character treated like everyone else, but it's orcs, and orcs are treated how not being funny, but how black people used to be treated back in like, the 60s and the 50s, and in history, basically treated like shit. And it's like, imagine if, as I said, if South America, where they used to be highly racist, in some parts still are, and you've got a black person wanting to be a police officer. That is exactly what it's basically about, but instead of having like an African American wants to be a police officer, it is a orc, and he's like the first ever orc police officer, and that's basically what it's all about. It's all about this sort of like segregation and racism that he faces, being an orc in the police force, and that's basically what it's all about. And it's the way they depicted that was fantastic. Like, it was really well done. It made you feel obviously really sorry for him, because it's like he gets treated like shit. But then there's obviously this whole other plot about Brights, and I think I'll leave it there.
Brights. What's Brights?
Brights are like not magicians, wizards. I would say is what a Bright is. A Bright is someone that can wield a wand. Like there's magic wands. They're really powerful. If you're not a Bright and you try and pick one up, it pretty much kills you immediately. So only Brights can wield magic wands, but magic wands can give you anything, just like a genie or whatever. Like any wand, it can give you any wish.
Yeah, because I think I saw that in the trailer.
Yeah, that's in the trailer.
Like, if you want to be taller or like anything like that.
Yeah, that's all. It's all in the trailer. Yeah, and yeah, that's basically what it's about. And yeah, so if you're not a Bright, you can't wield one, and that's basically the whole idea of the film. And I won't go any further from that, but it's all right. There's pros and cons, just like any film. Don't listen to the reviews. I would recommend watching it,
That's
and that's it.
to lead on to my point. I who was I talking to about the film? I think it was you the other day. So we went to this place in London called Winter Wonderland, and
If you follow us on Instagram, you know.
yeah, that plug.
If you follow us on Instagram, you know.
Yeah, MAViSMITH.
Yeah. All links can be found below on Twitch or indeed in the description on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Player FM.
Or just fucking go to MAViSMITH on Instagram and see it right there.
Or just Google MAViSMITH. We're the only people in the world with that name. So we are the first 150 billion results. So you're welcome.
150 billion.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, close.
Yeah. So people were saying that the reviews are literally painting it to be the worst film ever.
It's definitely not. I've seen
Yeah.
worse film. Okay, they want to see the worst film ever. Go and watch the bloody Snowman. All right, and then come back to me and say that was worse than Bright because they don't know what they need their heads checked if they genuinely think that film was worse than the Snowman that came out this year with Michael Fassbender.
Oh, yeah. Well, what are we talking about? I'm going to look up reviews of the Snowman.
Honestly, awful. Me and Lawrence booked the ticket. The second we booked it, when we looked at reviews and we tried to get a refund. Let's just put it that way.
Well, did you actually try and get a refund?
Hmm.
What did you ask?
Yeah, this wouldn't give us money back.
Well, it got 13% on Rotten Tomatoes and 23 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Awful.
I kind of liked it, but it felt kind of rushed.
Wait, is this Bright or Snowman?
Snowman.
Oh, dreadful.
People find it disappointing.
Yeah, massively. The trailer was better than the film. I'd rather watch the trailer over and over again for an hour and a half than watch that film again.
Have you seen the trailer for Free Billboards? It's a good film.
Is that the one you was watching a second ago?
No. It's got Woody Harrelson in it.
Oh yes, I have seen that.
And
It looks really good.
The billboards.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah. Back to Bright. So yeah. So now people have been saying that you if it was to do good, like well, then the movie industry would have a problem, and
Because Netflix.
Netflix, so they would have shut down they would have had to shut down they would have had to shut down the movie the Netflix's success because it shows that you don't need to have a big so basically like cinemas. Like if Bright took off and smashed charts, then because people like user reviews are actually quite good, whereas the critics are all bad. There's not one good critic review.
And I'm not saying they're not right. There is things about this film that I didn't like, and there is bits that I thought were either bad acting or bad choreography or bad directing. And you sort of sit there and go, well, that could have been a lot better. Like the script, there's some bits where the script is dreadful. Like, I'm not going to go any further than that, but so there's some bits where the script is as bad as, Suicide Squad. There's bits where that is a case, and I sat there going, is that really what they wrote in the script? But saying that, the universe kind of saves it. Right. The universe that is built around these characters is so awesome that you kind of want to see more films based in that universe. I'd love to see a sequel.
I mean, it'd be cool to like see the kind of what's it called, the fucking universe like properly.
Oh yeah, I would love to see how they created it, like the sets and everything.
I don't like David Ayer. I don't like him. I can't believe he brought us. What was a good film? The good one he directed was it?
It's definitely not Suicide Squad.
No, it wasn't. Fury and End of Watch. Fury and End of Watch.
Fury was good.
Fury was really good.
And End of Watch was amazing.
So he brought those two and just fucked up with Suicide Squad and now Bright.
It surprises me with Bright that he did End of Watch, which was such a fantastic buddy cop film. One of my favorite, probably my favorite buddy cop film out there.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. Such a low budget and everything. and then he goes to this, and it's the very same kind of concept, buddy cop film. Race is an issue because obviously he's Mexican in End of Watch. And him, Jake Gyllenhaal being Caucasian, and then having those moments where they're policing around that area.
Yeah.
You see that from both sides. So I'm surprised that he did so well with End of Watch, and then sort of didn't portray it as well as he could have in this film, because I feel like it could have been. Really sorry about the cough. End of Watch, but in a different universe. That's what it could have been.
Yeah.
I think that's what most people are thinking it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, oh, also, I called it. I called this shit. Go back in past podcasts, you can see I called that whole Apple slowing down your phone.
Mm.
Oh, fucking
I tell
yeah, I called it, bro.
I think
I
in that
nailed
same
that shit.
podcast, I was talking when you mentioned that, I was saying that someone had did a test and said it was bullshit, but obviously they hadn't done the right test because it's come out now that.
I mean, it makes sense to why they were doing it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's scumbaggy as balls. Like, that is
I feel
so
like
bad.
can't fucking hear it. Yeah. Is it scumbaggy?
Well,
They're doing it because I've just got no train. I got work tonight and work tomorrow morning. I'm gonna be so tired tomorrow. Yeah, no. I've just my train of thought is just not on the rails. Um, yeah, I mean, in it, like I've got blood all over my laptop around a nose being
gee, you said it again today.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, no. So about the thing, yeah.
Apple slowing down your
Yeah,
phone.
Apple, yeah.
Is it
I
scumbag?
mean, and is it scumbaggy though? Because at the end of the day, they were honestly, bro, my brain's like mush. It was to save the batteries, right? Because the batteries after time will die, and it's to try and help them and stop them from killing the battery.
So I I heard in another podcast actually. I'm not going to tell which podcast because obviously ours are the best.
No,
Not yet, not yet. Um, yeah, there was one that I was listening to, and they were talking about this same topic, and they basically were saying how it was proven by a group of like investigators, or whatever, that it does slow down your phone, but it's not because Apple are doing it; it's because the battery's getting old. If you replace the battery from your phone for a new one, because basically when the battery deteriorates, supposedly it ramps down the clock speed of the processor in there, so everything gets slower.
Yeah.
So if you go and get a brand new battery, which is God knows how much, and at that point you might as well get a new phone, it basically fixes all the problems with speed. But then, you know, I understand why.
For a year they're offering £30 battery, right?
Is that what they're doing now?
Yeah, you can get a repair now for a year for 39 £39 instead of
About $50.
yeah. It was £50 more, so what 70?
Yeah, I mean that's good of them
Yeah,
to get, but it should be free. If your phone doesn't operate properly because the components you put in it are not adequate, then you shouldn't then charge people to say, well, the phone we gave you is actually a little bit shit, and the components in it don't work that well. But hey, don't worry about that. In a year's time, you can just give us an extra bit, a bit more of your money, and we'll fix our problem for you.
yeah. Like everyone was like, oh, it's like so good of them to. What first of all, it doesn't you know they're overcharging for the battery.
Yeah.
Second of all, um, like fucking just say like, oh, we're slowing down your phones, blah blah blah.
Well, then obviously not choosing to do it. It's doing it automatically. The point
No,
is,
no, no. But they could come out and say like, we slow down your phones because of
yeah,
the battery, and
just come clean.
yeah. I mean, it's not exactly a bad thing that, or make it a setting. I don't know, make it a setting. So if you wanna, but My phone seems quite fast. I mean, I don't see a problem with mine.
Mine's okay. It's definitely slowed down. Mine's definitely got slower over the year because I've got the iPhone 7. I've had it since last Christmas, or before that. I bought it beginning of December last year. Because my upgrade was sort of around, I think it was on the 12th of December last year. I bought my phone, so it's only just gone over a year since I bought this phone, and it's definitely slower than it was a year ago. Well, iOS bollocks it up.
Yeah, they did something or other. But yeah, no. So I just called that shit. You know, I just wanted to say as well, I called that shit too. Cool. So should we get on to our three Ws? I mean, I think that, you know, kind of took our time to get here. Now, yeah. So, who have you found out about this week? Who have you listened to?
I did have a name.
I've got two.
I did have a good name in my head that I just thought about. Oh shit, who was it? Can't remember.
Okay, so I've got two. I so on my way here, I was just listening. No, not on my way here. Earlier, I was listening to. So Spotify got this really cool thing. Plug Spotify. Where we're not sponsored by them either. Where if you're listening to a playlist or an album,
Yeah.
MAViSMITH playlist, just be everywhere. Um, they have a cool feature where if you listen to an album or a playlist, when that ends,
I don't know. You're going to manage it, mate.
No, I'm
This is
joking.
going to be. This is the first podcast 2018, and we're going into it sick, tired, just run down. It's just been a horrible holiday period.
Yeah,
Like just
it
illness.
hasn't been a good one.
No, I mean, like obviously, like everything with family stuff's fine, but with regards to just illnesses and just exhaustion, we've been busy, we've been sick.
It's the first time I've been ill ever over the holiday season.
I'm only ever sick, like actually sick, once a year, and it's over. It's in December. Come December the 1st, you can guarantee that we'll have a cough, and by the end of December, you can guarantee that I'll be just about getting better. But sometimes this year's been horrible because I've had 4 different coughs or 4 different colds and flus kind of thing, where I've got over it after a week of being sick, and then got sick again like a couple of days later, and it's happened 4 times. I keep getting better, thinking, "Yep, I'm all good," and then happened again. I'm pretty sure I was ill last podcast. Was last podcast the Christmas one? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were both ill last podcast. I got over that by Christmas Day. I was fine. And then I'm sick again. It's just honestly.
Not very good. But yeah, so I was listening to a playlist, and they had, and it was Francis and the Lights. He's a really talented musician that came out, releases a new album today, and
Who? Sorry.
Francis and the Lights.
Yeah.
He did the song with Chance the Rapper.
Mhm.
He's one that came out.
May I have this dance?
I felt a bit really heavy when he was playing.
Oh mate,
Yeah.
that was an experience.
And and then it went on to and it was a cover of Kanye West's Ultralight Beam. How's it going, Mini Muse? Mini Muse one.
Mini Muse.
Happy New Year, Mini Muse. Happy New Year.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mini Muse.
And yeah, and Ultralight Beam is a cover of a rap song, but it's like an indie band. And I was actually taken back by how good it was because I don't normally listen to indie music.
Hmm.
And it was really good. So I kind of went onto their page and gave it a little listen. And they're actually as a band really good. So I found them. Second one would be doctors and nurses everywhere.
Right.
No. My second one would be have you heard of a guy called Joe Budden?
Yeah.
So he was a rapper who doesn't rap anymore, and he does like podcasts. He did a really popular podcast called Everyday Struggle, which is over at Complex, which is like a show a day, Monday to Friday. They do one show, and it's really good. And like, however, they didn't want to pay him more. They didn't want to pay him more, so they said, you know, like, buy basically. and like he wasn't given a proper send off. He wasn't given, you know, a goodbye, anything like that. He was just literally like, you know, he got an email and he was like, oh, like Jerry isn't coming in. Sent to his manager like Jerry isn't coming in tomorrow. But if he wants to come in as a guest, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah. So he was like, you know, like he left Everyday Struggle and went to
Mike just sort of started flying there a little bit.
How have you clipped it?
She's a bit tighter. Apologies for the mic noises.
Yeah, no. So he then left and then went to, and then he's got his own podcast called the Joe Budden Podcast, funnily enough, and he basically went there, and then he got offered a show. They're saying like 5 million for a 2-year contract at Revolt, which is Diddy, like Puff, and
yeah,
yeah, and yeah. So it was kind of like a know your worth kind of thing. He was like, I'm not being respected enough here, so he left, which was a big shake up, and now we got a better one. So it's kind of just like the old thing where it's like know your worth and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That was just a little bit of inspiration for your New Year's Day.
Always know your worth. MAViSMITH 2018.
Yeah. So quote for the year. So have you thought about yours yet?
I guess Mark Hamill is someone that I know I haven't found out about him, but it's someone that I'd like to sort of discuss. Because he hated the Star Wars films that just came out.
You didn't like it?
He didn't. Mark Hamill hated them.
What, the one that came out, or you just say
or both of them? Yeah, like Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. He hates them both. Because he's been portrayed in such an awful. I don't know what is going on with this clamp. Mine's just fucking given up on life. Apologies for this.
So Mark Hamill doesn't like Star Wars.
He just hates the way that.
It?
No, because he loves Star Wars. He hates the way that Luke's been depicted in the latest films. Yeah, he said he's been treated not like shit, but
what he has on his character.
Luke has. And he basically said that he can't believe that the director sort of saw Luke the way that he did. He said it was dreadful. Mine is fucked. Can't believe that he saw Luke in that light, and the way that he sort of depicted him is awful. So it's unbelievable that Mark Hamill, pretty much the biggest star of Star Wars, hates his own films basically. Well, it's a shame.
You know Kick-Ass 2?
Yeah.
That should be okay. So Kick-Ass 2 starred Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey came out and said he didn't like it because it's basically like, you know, child killers.
Yeah.
And he came out after the film was released and said that he didn't like it, and you know he didn't approve of it.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I feel like actors should be allowed to say that. The only problem is it would put them in a bad light if they go for another job, or people are like, yeah, but he just dissed on his last film.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for their future, but it's Jim Carrey. I mean, I don't think you'd have to worry about it too much.
Yeah. Okay, so Mark Hamill.
Yeah, so he was basically saying that. He basically said that he can't believe that the director depicted Luke the way he did, and he just said, like, I can't believe that we're teaching kids that it doesn't matter about how good something is; it just matters about how much money it's going to make.
Oh well, come on, that's Star Wars. They are dragging it out. That last film, I'm sorry, but that last film was a fucking joke. The storyline in that film, yes, it looked good and sounded good. I completely understand, but the storyline, like, what the fuck is the storyline anymore? Like, this felt like a 5-minute
Star Wars film that had been dragged into an entire hour. It was just fucked it, really.
It's the crappy clamp that came with this mic that we bought. It's just this is like this. That one's the original mic, and this one it's got a new. It's got some sort of special rubber thing to keep it gripped, and it just doesn't work. I actually have to hold it. This is me for the rest of the podcast.
What was you saying?
Just Mark Hamill is just not happy with the way that Star Wars has gone for Luke, and rightly so. To be fair, it's such a shame because obviously, he wanted it to be good, but he just said Luke's just basically been cast to one side and just treated like someone that's not worth the time.
Yeah. I mean, the Star Wars film really fucking sucked in my opinion.
I really enjoyed it.
Like, it looks, no, I completely get it. It looks good and it sounds good. Blah blah blah. But come on, the storyline, bro.
The storyline wasn't great. The storyline was pretty bad.
And you go to a Star Wars film to see. You go to a Star Wars film to see, kind of a good storyline. That's what Star Wars is known for. You don't go to Marvel films for the storyline because that's their kind of. They look good, they sound good, they're entertaining. But Star Wars has not been in that light. So Star Wars, so to come out now and start saying, "Oh, but Star Wars is the same light as Marvel and all that."
No, the first, the first 3, 4, 5, and 6, they were all about storyline and characters and stuff, and that kind of message that we give to people. It's all about being original and having great content. 1, 2, and 3 were cash cows because they were, they wanted to reimagine the Star Wars universe in modern technology and modern VFX with new characters, new Jedi, new Siths, and they wanted to, and also cash cow out with figurines. Like Jar Jar Binks was added pretty much. They could make little figurines of him, and that backfired.
Look at fucking what's his name?
BB-8.
Yeah.
Look at BB-8. Look at the new little penguin Gorgs, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Obviously Chewie's always been in it, but they don't really make these brand new Chewie dolls or Han Solo dolls or Luke Skywalker dolls. Like they probably have Old Man Luke somewhere, but all the things they'll make will be of these new things they've added into the new Star Wars films that kids are like, oh, I love those big dog things they ride at the casino. I wonder if I can get a little doll of one. Oh, look, I can. It's 150 quid.
Yeah.
And the parents are like, okay, you can have it for Christmas. Hence why they released the film around Christmas time because all the merchandise comes out with the film.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's it.
It is a cash cow. I mean, that's all Disney care about. But for obvious reasons, they're a company. But you've got to kind of be able to kind of judge the line. So Cloverfield is meant to be releasing a film on February the 2nd. That's where it's been scheduled for. But we've had no trailer or news or anything like that. We spoke earlier about it. Whether they'll push it back because there's been no trailer. It finished shooting in 2016, and it was under a different name, and they renamed it, or they took it under the Cloverfield umbrella. So it was shot as a separate film, but Cloverfield basically took it and rebranded it, I guess, or renamed it.
That worries me a little bit. I mean, what was
it does, but it doesn't because
when did 10 Cloverfield Lane come out though? That doesn't feel that long ago.
2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, but if they finished shooting this in 2016,
no, it was 2016 as well.
Yeah, so
90%.
Yeah, that film's brilliant. But
great film.
What worries me is if they've then turned around and gone, right, they released that film in 2016, which means they would have finished shooting it in 2015. Unless they already knew that they were going to be doing this, the fact that it finished shooting in 2016 with whoever's in it, and then they're going to rebrand it as Cloverfield, it worries me a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is J.J. Abrams the producer again?
If there's anyone crazy enough to do something like that, it's definitely him.
Well, you say that, but he didn't have the balls to stand up to bloody Disney when he did the last Star Wars film, The Force Awakens. Because even though that film wasn't awful, the storyline was New Hope, and Disney obviously said play it safe, keep the storyline the same as number 4 because we know that works. Don't fix what's not broken. And now the Last Jedi, they went a bit off a bit off cue with the storyline of Star Wars and the sort of the genre that we've set it in, and everyone hates it. So, well, not everyone hates it. It's got really good reviews, but critics, most people don't like the way that the storyline was done. They love everything else, which I agree with, but the storyline was shit. It really was, and I 100% agree with that. So then you come to this stance where it's like, okay, well they've been ballsy with the storyline, and it's failed. They stuck to the same storyline, and it kind of worked.
Wasn't this film similar to
No.
another Star Wars?
No, not at all. Really, it was. It had moments from Episode 6 of Return of the Jedi, and it had one moment that was referencing Empire Strikes Back, which was the bit at the end of the Salt Flats, because obviously that was a direct sort of reference to Hoth at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, where they got all the speeders and they got the AT-ATs and Luke's in the cave and whatever, and on the snow. That's why it looked like there was snow everywhere. It looked like a snowy planet. And they went out of their way to touch the ground and say, "Oh, it's not snow, it's salt," because obviously they didn't want a repeat of Hoth and like Episode 5, so they wanted to try and be original. So they did salt, which is the direct opposite of snow, obviously. So that was kind of surprising, but that's what they were doing. It wasn't the same as number 5 or Empire, wasn't the same as Return of the Jedi number 6, but it had very similar moments, I guess you could say. From both.
Yeah, fair enough. What have you done this week?
Oh,
What have you done this week?
honestly, been ill. No, I went to Winter Wonderland. I guess that's something I haven't never done before.
Oh yeah,
And
how was it? Did you like it?
yeah, it's really cool. Winter Wonderland, for anyone that doesn't live in the UK or doesn't know what it is or hasn't ever seen it on the news.
I don't think people on news.
It has been on the news before, but not for positive reasons.
Oh, of course.
But basically, it's this magical place in London where they used to have fake snow.
Fake snow.
Yeah, they used to have fake snow. Don't anymore. But it's basically like there's an ice skating rink. It's like Cinderella on ice or some shit for kids. There's like loads of amusement rides. There's like big, semi-big roller coasters and really small like fairground rides for kids. Obviously a big Ferris wheel and all that jazz. And then there's loads of different shops and tents where you can win and buy all kinds of goodies and food and stuffed toys and all that kind of stuff, like a normal amusement park basically. And then there's big tents and big tents, like there's big arena sort of areas within inside that you basically go in and just have a drink, and as an adult you go in and get really beard up and listen to live music and eat food, and it's great. And for kids, they go in and they have their chocolate milk and they will listen to live music, and it's great. So it's good for everyone really. It's just a really nice place where people get to go and just enjoy themselves with either their family, their spouses, or just their mates, and it's just a really cool sort of a little portable amusement park that they do once a year for Christmas, and it's great. It's all Christmas themed. So
I
yeah.
don't think I do the rides next year.
I really enjoyed them. That's sort of my favourite bit. I like getting drunk. Yeah, no, I like getting drunk and listening to music, but I love going on any ride that just hits me with adrenaline. Like anything like that big drop ride, it's just like going up and shitting yourself a little bit because you're like however many, like 100 feet in the air, and then you just drop. I love that kind of stuff. I'd rather just do that first, get it over and done with, and then just go and drink for the rest of the evening. Because I feel like then you're done, and you then sit in the warm until it shuts, and it's just easier, and you can get as drunk as you want. I think the rides are probably one of the best things about it, because otherwise, I think I would have got bored if we just sat there all night listening to music from 4 till.
Yeah, we got there at 4. We didn't leave until
10.
10? Yeah. Oh yeah, when it shut. Yeah, it was a cool place. That's my what actually. I went on a sky. What is it called?
how sky drops
like a
work?
sky drop thing. I can't do drops. At rides, drops kill me. I can do like roller coaster drops, but like straight drops, no, not for me. I can't do them. I suffer. Just feel really ill. And where I had alcohol, I didn't want to chance it because I didn't want to be even more ill. However, I kind of felt like the group wanted to go on it, and I didn't know whether I don't know. So I thought, fuck it, like I'm going to put my foot down. Let's go and do it because I didn't want people to be like, oh, we can't or whatever reason. So I did that. That's my why. That's my why of the week.
Yeah, it was really good. You sort of go up 100. I don't know how tall this one was in particular. Usually they're about like 80 to 100 feet on average, I would say. There's some that are a lot bigger. But yeah, I mean, there's one that we went on in Salou in Spain, in Ventura, called Hurricane Condor, and that's about 300 feet, about 3 times the size that we went on. It is terrifying.
What's the name?
Hurricane Condor, and yeah, that is mental. We went on that, and that was it goes up a lot quicker, so you don't sort of have to wait too long. But it is honestly horrible. You can see everything from up there, and
That looks like the same height as.
trust me, it's not.
Well, that looks like the exact same height.
Turn it. No, no, no. Hey, can you see? Is there a different shot? Can you get a different go on images?
I'm trying to.
And it's just mental.
That whole blow your nose, walk into the mic was very British comedy.
I'm really, really sorry about my illness. I blew my nose away from the mic, but somehow it still picks it up, even though it's not really kind of supposed to. So I apologize profusely for my illness and crappy blowing nose.
Yeah, you're
Horrible.
right. That's fucking tall, bro. It was the tallest one in Europe. So very, very tall. I mean that was good. We got some silly hats, didn't we?
Yeah.
But
sorry.
yeah, no, we had some silly hats and we had a good time. But what is the other one? Why is it why? Is it why?
Mm.
It's why, isn't it?
Well, here we go.
No, only one cast.
Why did I do something this week? I went to work on Wednesday because I have to earn money to live. That is it.
Really?
No, no. I Oh, what did I do that was cool?
But why did you do it?
Well, that's it. Why? That's what we're on.
We're on why. We've done it. We've done what? Or should we just move on? I can't really think of anything.
Well, yeah, let's roll on past
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I haven't well, we spoke a little bit about movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Game wise, PUBG hit over 3 million concurrent players.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. All right. Should we read this book
So to fill
to fill people that have just joined on?
to fill anyone in that's just joined, such as Stevie Drunk,
Drunk Steve.
I wrote a book when I was very young. I think I was about 7 or 8, but I can't remember exactly how old I was. But I would imagine it was about 7 or 8, primary school, obviously, when I was very young. I wrote a book called Hero's Quest, and I found it the other day whilst clearing up because we're moving house.
I love as well. I'll show the camera now. You to make sure that you knew what you were doing. You put Mike. You highlighted the fact that that's Mike twice.
Yeah, because you need to know who the main character is.
Yeah, but you did it twice, and then on the back is the same title but with a couple of extra little drawings.
Yeah, one's in Braille. That's why I put it twice. The fact that you checked is great.
Well, I've fucking done it. Oh, it's a pretty good idea if you ask me. I don't know whether blind people are going to be reading this. We're going to read a chapter a podcast. There's 4 chapters.
They're very
It
short.
looks like a big book. It's not. It's about 4 pages.
I never finished it. I got to chapter 4 and never finished the story. But I might if it gets good reviews, I'll go back and finish my novel.
Right. So, do you want me to read it and then you tell me what you?
If you can understand it, because this is a 7-year-old
me.
writing this.
We heard, as in HERD. This is gonna be tragic, bro. All right, let's get into it then. So it's called Hero's Quest.
Hero's Quest by George Aerosmith.
Chapter 1, I don't know why I tried to use that as a word.
The Dream.
Chapter 1, The Dream. Don't cut up and start saying that in words. One day, I was in my little cottage making, that's MAKEING, cookies. Do you mean cookies?
Yes, I mean
Yeah.
cookies.
Little cottage making cookies for my friends. Oh, that's nice. So you were making cookies for people?
I'm a nice guy. Oh, bonk my head though.
Yeah, no. Tonight they were staying over to play. We were playing some board games, I think you meant to say, right? When all of a sudden we heard timber.
Timber.
Yeah, we heard that. And a tree came gashing down. Came crashing down. It looks like a G there, bro. Or goshing, it looks like. We ran out, side, to see. How come it's different colour? You've got like letters. We ran outside to see is in like a light blue. Then there was a man in dark blue, and then no one we've ever seen in light blue.
These were the times where you used to have to write out something in pencil before you did it in pen because you were learning how to use a pen. You weren't trusted yet.
That's a lie.
What?
Because there's no pencil marks.
Because you rub it out afterwards. You write in pencil, you write over in pen, and you rub out the pencil afterwards.
Game changer. There was a man, no one we've ever seen. He was big and tall, and we were scared, so we ran inside and locked the door.
Charlie.
There was a man no one we've ever seen. He was big and tall, and we were scared, so we ran inside and locked the door. I feel like this story is gonna just come out of left field and just destroy ratings. That night, I had a dream, a very weird dream. And what happened was that a wizard came to me and said, "Come to the lake. Come to the lake." Then he got. Then he what? This is atrocious. Yeah, what did he
Gave. And he gave. How?
Then he gave me a sword and disappeared into thin air. This is the picture that's going up. Could you want to explain what the picture is?
Yeah, sure. So this is a picture of Mike asleep. Obviously, he says Mike on his sleeping bag. Like everyone has their name written across their bedclothes.
His pillow's green. That's why it's coming out.
And he's dreaming about this wizard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. Glad we came to that. The next day, my friends went home, and I was sitting here thinking about the dream, because when I woke, I found the sword.
Oh.
So it really freaked me out.
Oh, game changer. Boom, boom.
Hold on a second.
He found the sword that was in the dream. It wasn't a dream.
Hold on. I'm going to read this without any punctuation. The next day, my friends went home, and I was sitting there thinking about the dream, because when I woke, I found the sword, so it really freaked me out.
I was fucking 6 or whatever.
Did you write about the commas as
Oh,
well?
I'm sorry that my punctuation and like vocabulary and grammar wasn't perfect when I was like 6, 7, 8, however old I was.
Don't be sorry, be careful. I found the sword, so it really freaked me out.
Yeah, it did. I thought it was in a dream. The wizard said, "Look, come to the lake, mate. Here's a sword." I was like, "Oh, bloody hell, that's a weird dream."
He said, "Come to the lake, come to the lake."
And I found a
What
sword.
did he look like? What did the wizard guy look like?
He was bearded, he had a hat, he was tall. Never seen him before.
He looks like a girl in this picture. And it's a very stereotypical wizard hat as well. Anyway. The next day, my friends went home, and I was sitting there thinking of... Oh, sorry.
This is not the only short story I've ever written, by the way. There was actually one of the short stories I wrote when I was a kid was actually published into a book. And that's 100% true. It was a really short story. It's like maybe 5 pages long. And it was a little book called Short Stories for like under 11s or something, and it was like a really young little book where kids used to write things, and they went into this little like pamphlet, and they had like the top 50 or something in there, and I was up there. I was like number 6 or something.
That's
Just
quite
saying, I wrote a little story, and it's all about aliens. I'll try and find the book. I know I have it somewhere.
cool. Why is your pop filter like shaking?
That's because I'm not the table.
I knew I had to go to that lake, but how would I get there? Then it hit me.
I don't drive.
I had to go to that lake, but how would I get there? Then it hit me.
Then it hit me.
Without punctuation. I knew I had to go there to that lake, but how would I get there? Then it hit me.
Oh, that's the third time. Do you want me to read it, mate?
In my garage.
This story doesn't. It just breaks up too much.
Oh, sorry. In my garage was my dad's old bike. I would not have used it if he was here. No,
No, you wouldn't let me use that bike.
I would not have used it. Oh, I love how you put the it in the margin.
Oh, I run out of space.
He couldn't fit the it, so he's put it in the margin. So I guess it's so. I would not have used it if he was here. Why? Where is he?
He's away on business or something, probably. That's for the audience to decide where he is.
Business.
Or is he the wizard?
Plot twist inbound. MAViSMITH does creepy wizard hat. About an hour later, I reached the lake, and in the middle was a little hut on land. So I swam to it and climbed on. Then I went in. God,
It's so damn hot.
I'm getting like goosebumps.
Milk
That
was
noise
a
you
bad
heard?
choice.
Was KW Moneymakey following us on Twitch? How's it going, brother?
Money maker. Yeah, blamed my right and kind of read the
sorry,
bloke.
I ain't got my glasses on. I didn't even see it.
That makes sense why you can't read my book then. Thank you very much for following.
You've caught us in the middle of a table read of 6-year-old George. His writing. So sorry. So can I just go over this again because it actually makes me laugh. I would not have used it if he was here.
Talking about bike, my dad's bike that I'm using to get to the lake the wizard told me about in the dream.
Yep. I would not have used it if he was here, but about a year ago he built here, but about a year ago he went missing. Your dad's missing.
Oh shit! I didn't know that bit of the story.
That fuck, dude. Okay,
Woo!
that is so right. Listen.
Turns out my dad's might stud.
Listen. What?
Went missing.
Oh. Right,
Thanks.
just listen to this without, and I won't break it up.
Oh, for God's sake!
Was my dad's old bike. I would not have used it if he was here, but about a year ago he went missing, so I guess it's okay.
Sounds fine, mate.
Alright. About an hour later, I reached the lake, and in the middle. So in this book, are you what? How old are you?
I don't know. Probably the same age when I wrote it, like 8,
Well,
7, 6. I can't remember.
About an hour later, I reached the lake, and in the middle was a strange man was sitting in a rocking chair, rocking backwards and forwards over and over again. And then he said, "Hello, Mike. I've been expecting you."
Bum bum.
What?
Bum bum.
I'm reading it. It does say what? How do you know my name?
Bum bum.
Oh, I know a lot of things.
Bum bum.
And one is that you are the chosen one. And you will help save us. And you've got a big quest ahead of you to get to the Blue Rock to save us all.
Oh.
What Blue Rock?
Oh.
A blue rock that when you place it in the slot here, it will just...
Keep reading, Bell. I want to know what happens to the blue rock.
A blue rock that when you place it in the slot here, it will destroy all monsters.
Oh, that means there's monsters we haven't found out about yet.
We have kicked this up a notch. I was too scared, so I ran outside, got on my bike, and rode away.
Oh. End of
I have a
chapter
drawing
1.
here. Tell you what the drawing's about.
Okay. So this is a drawing of
What's he saying?
Stay. Has he got a penis? Did I draw Even that 7-year-old me wanted to just draw like dicks on everything. This is a drawing of Mike arriving at the wizard's hut and saying "stay" as he talks to him about the blue stone and destroying all monsters.
Oh wow, bro! That's the end of chapter 1. Chapter 2 is called. Sorry, that's the end of chapter 1. Chapter 2 is called The Meeting. Do you remember writing this?
Vaguely.
Have you read it?
No.
So you don't know what happened. So this is called The Meeting. I'm guessing you mean meeting between. It's the green book as well. The green books that used to.
You used to have like science or whatever, yeah.
So it's called The Meeting. I would assume that. God, you got a little fucking politician over there.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm dying a little bit.
I'm guessing it's the meeting between you and the wizard.
Who knows? You have to tune in next week for chapter 2.
Yeah. Even though you rode away from him.
Well, I rode away from him, but obviously something draws me back to see. It could be the wizard. It could be anyone.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll make it into a film. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll have to see what our fantastic audience think about the book.
Yeah. Which, if you are listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Player FM, or anything like that, I love how someone put up podcasts on Player FM.
That's not the only one. There's about 4 different websites like Player FM.
What happens if I search MAViSMITH? What do I get up?
All of our stuff, basically. But if you scroll down, you come to like podcasts are us, and you have to claim it to say that it's yours and all this stuff.
That's weird.
Hmm.
So what have I got? Twitch comes up first, then our charity event. That was 28th October. How much did we raise? 500? No, 540. You can still donate to it. Have they got it now?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm assuming they've got it.
Yeah. Did you see the email that I got from them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would assume that they kind of got the money because, yeah. Third is then our Twitter, then our Facebook, then our iTunes podcast, then Player FM, then our YouTube. Again, oh no, our YouTube's Rolo. Then it's a GoFundMe. We didn't use GoFundMe though, did we?
No.
Oh wait, is it the same thing?
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah. Oh no donations yet, but we've got a goal. Oh, I don't know. So, you know, you can listen to us on MAViSMITH phone number, email address, public records. Oh yeah, look, Blueberry podcast.
There you go.
Then our Streamlabs. Then that's not us, is it?
What?
Pinterest. Then podcast listen notes. MAViSMITH in Tennessee. Should we see what MAViSMITH looks like? What happens if we Google image MAViSMITH? What comes up? I wonder what comes up.
Just loads of pictures of our stuff.
Oh, about thumbnails and shit.
And a very attractive woman by the name of MAViSMITH.
Mavi is Mavi a popular name?
No.
Because I feel like a girl I knew in America had a kid called Maverick, and he called her like Mavi. No, she called him Mavi.
What
Why
stupid
not?
name?
Why not just call it Mav or if you're gonna shorten Maverick, call it Mav. Why Mavi?
Why is
Mavi's like a girl's name.
why is it a boy?
Yeah, it's a guy. It's a guy. It's a dude.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, it's a boy.
It's a boy.
So yeah, we'll should we talk about our schedule for next year? Well, this year.
Oh wait, you haven't done your little jokes yet, have you?
God, we haven't done a podcast since last year.
Oh bloody hell! Oh, you fucking haven't done anything since last year.
Yeah, I woke up fucked. You have a cold.
Oh, so ill.
So our schedule for this year for MAViSMITH. We have a couple of shows that we want to do, but we don't want to rush it and get it out there and it be crap. So we're kind of keeping. I mean, we're kind of keeping it. You know, we're gonna keep them under and really iron out what we're gonna do idea wise.
If you follow us on Instagram and Twitter,
I think he's about to say if you follow us on Instagram or Twitter,
Then you'll find out more about
then
schedule.
you'll find out more about schedule. But I will tell you schedule now. So, of course, every Monday we're gonna do the podcast. We're gonna move the podcast. Maybe we're gonna move it to 8 o'clock, not 8:30, because I have work up 11, so it's kind of a rush round to kind of get going. I fucking love your little mound over there.
Oh,
your
it's
pile.
horrible.
And then Tuesdays are going to be a quiet day. Wednesday will be MAViSMITH plays.
Yeah. Jackbox mostly.
Yeah, Jackbox. At the moment, it's Jackbox. That's what we're playing at the moment.
If we get bored, we'll mix it up, but we'll probably
Yeah.
stick to Jackbox most of the time on Wednesdays.
Because you can kind of interact with the audience very
Yeah, you get to play with all your viewers and whatnot.
So, and then we're going to be doing random streams. I'm going to be streaming a lot more now during the week.
I'll be doing a lot more during the weekends, hopefully.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll be doing a lot more moving forward because I've got my own green screen kit now, and it stays up now because I've kind of got it in a neat place. So I don't have to bother or worry about taking it down. And it looks really cool. I can't wait for you to see it. Like, it's quite sleek. I'm really proud of it. So it's easy for me to stream, and I've not got a lot of work on this month, so I'll be able to stream quite a lot. So yeah, so we're doing that. Then we're going to be releasing one, or at least one. We might have time to do more than one later on in the year, but we're going to be releasing one major video production a month. So that will come out on the last Friday of the month. And previously we did a music video for Logic's 1-800 song. And then last month we did a Christmas special called Christmas Fear. Oh, we haven't even spoke about Christmas Fear yet.
Yeah, no, we haven't spoken about it too much.
We'll talk about it in a second. So Christmas Fear is a Christmas special we did that came out Christmas Day last year. It's been out since last year. Have you not seen it yet?
You're the worst.
No, no. So you can go on our YouTube and watch it. If you like British humour, then you're in for a good old treat, son. But yeah, how the fuck am I going to survive and not sleep until 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow? I don't want to die. I don't know. I actually die. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, don't.
Tune in next Monday if it's just George. I'm ripped.
That's if I'm still alive at this point.
True.
We could both just be dead.
It might just be a couple of chairs interviewing each other. Yeah, and then the last Saturday of every month we're going to be doing a long stream where we'll sit there and just, do whatever the fuck we want for however long. We might go to the shops and get some food and shit. We might have some of our friends join in. And we're going to be streaming for a long time and playing a large variety of games as well.
Yeah.
So that's our kind of schedule. We're going to be bringing shows online when we think of them. Like, we've thought of a few cool ideas, but we just have got to iron them out and work out what we're doing with what. So that when we do them, they're good. They're not just, crap.
Yeah.
Or half-assed or rushed.
Definitely.
But yeah, so let's talk about Christmas Fear. So Christmas Fear came out Christmas Day.
It did. 25th of December 2017.
Hold up, just rewind 1 second. We're also going to be doing like film reviews, but they don't have a schedule. They will be out when the film is out. So
yeah, basically.
And they're going to be about, around 10 minutes long. One spoiler, one non-spoiler as well. So right, so sorry. Christmas Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Out on our YouTube. It's really, really funny in my opinion. Everyone I've showed it to has found it funny.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
So we kind of like you came up with the idea.
It was more Carr than anyone.
Really?
Well, Carr, one of our main actor that's been in pretty much all of our shorts so far, George Carr. He was here and we saw the hat, and we said what would be a funny idea would be this and that, and then I took that concept and wrote it into sort of a short comedy / horror sketch, and then we filmed it, and it's up on YouTube on the 25th.
Yeah. Mini Muse said it was really good. Thank you, Mini Muse.
Thank you very much, Mini Muse. I'm really glad you enjoy it. I think everyone that's watched it so far has laughed a little bit, and that is basically our goal. As long as people enjoy it, Doesn't matter if it's like the worst thing. If people are laughing, having a good time, that is what, in our opinion, good content is, because that's what we want to do. We want to entertain. So whether that is entertained through drama, or entertained through action, or entertained through comedy, as long as someone's laughed, someone's just enjoyed it in general, then mission accomplished in our eyes. So yeah, we're really glad that people have had really good reactions about it, and hopefully going forward, more people will start to enjoy our content.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think the scene of Tom in the kitchen was hilarious. Like when he grabbed the pineapple, like that wasn't even in the script, was it? That was just, there was some pineapple on the side, and
There are some good improvised moments in this,
yeah,
for sure.
and he's really funny as well.
He's probably
He's a little bit too funny.
He's one of the funniest people you'll meet in your life. Yeah,
because he it just runs. He grabbed the joke and runs with it, and then you just can't stop laughing. And then when you look at the time, like 10 minutes is gone, and you spent the last 10 minutes just creasing.
Yeah.
As well, but yeah. I mean, great fun. It was a good. It was a good show, and I recommend. As well. Anything else to talk about? I don't think of anything else to talk about.
No, I'm kind of dying a little bit, so I haven't got a lot of energy to sort of do anything any justice at the moment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We haven't been up to much because it's been obviously the holiday season. We haven't been doing much MAViSMITH things. What the fuck are you... That's a picture on Google. What the fuck are you watching? What is it? A Twitch video. Why is it taking me here for?
Oh, it's that looks like
Oh, I remember it was when you were playing Jackbox and I went to work and I listened to you and you were talking about that dog video. That fucking that dog film in Beverly Hills. The Chinchilla in Beverly Hills.
oh bloody yeah dogs hotel for dogs or something.
Hotel for dogs. And yeah, I just
Dad before it's too late. What, before I die? Is this
Cookie Monster? Why not? Dad before it's too late.
we're
leaving Dabin in 2017. I called it 2019.
no dab January.
No.
Dry Jan.
New Year resolution. New Year, new me is no dabbing.
Yeah, I'm addicted to dabbing.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So this month's is going to be a little bit different. This month's production is going to be a little bit different. Because what's cool as well is that we're doing different things. We're not just doing one thing. So when you look at things like, our past videos, we do random things that we.
I try to get a sneaky one in. My addiction's too much.
I don't get paid enough for this shit. I don't get paid at all. This is a bad place to come. I don't know why I came on this.
That was for you, Cookie.
That was for you, Cookie. I hope you enjoyed that.
For audio listeners on iTunes, go to YouTube and go to 1 hour and 16 minutes in to see something special.
Something special. Should we wrap up podcast here?
Yeah, I think it's time. I'm really not feeling great, so.
Yeah. So this has been MAViSMITH Podcast number 20.
2-0.
Sorry, we've been dying. I've been exhausted, and you've been coughing your guts out. But
the last couple.
The show goes on. Oh yeah, our Christmas podcast on Monday was just we were fucked as well.
As we get better, obviously, things will be back to normal. With regards to our content and stuff, it's just we've both been very ill over this period of time, and tonight just awful.
Yeah,
no energy.
So if you're listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, or email,
electronic mail,
or any of those, we do stream live on Twitch at twitch.tv/MAViSMITH, and they do get uploaded to YouTube on youtube.com. Search bar MAViSMITH, because we don't have our own URL yet. So you can find the videos on there, or you can listen to the audio online. And I'm hoping that we sound quite sexual today because of our new mics. we have new mics, so that's why we sound better than we did.
Although
Last
they were collapsing earlier, so if you heard that extravaganza, you know what that was.
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't, and you have to go to youtube.com
Yeah,
and have a look.
and then you can see it. So, anyway, this has been MAViSMITH Podcast number 20.
Certainly has. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Wish you all a happy new year.
Yeah.
And see some of you Wednesday for Jackbox Wednesdays.
Yep.
Thanks for following KW Moneymaker, and thanks for tuning in Mini Muse. And Cookie, he's skedaddled. But Mini Muse, yeah, hopefully we'll see you Wednesday. Pen it in your diary, upstate. I'm now being blurred out of the